Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world, we've got game number 2 of FNATIC versus Orange.Taring. FNATIC taking game 1 in a spectacular display of Gorgon action. The snake went buck wild all over everything that Orange.Taring had to offer. I'm Zyori, joined again by Android. Annie, what's going on here coming into game number 2?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good here. We got Terrorblade first pick for Taring, so definitely a different strategy, looking to change it up, looking to be the aggressors. And now FNATIC go with the Void Phoenix combo. I absolutely adore this combination.
Yeah? One of your fave skis?
Yeah, one of my fave skis. I think Void just going in, you got that Chrono, you bring in the Sunray, just zip-zapping everyone down, things get rough, just hit R, and all of a sudden Phoenix just becomes this giant zoning nuclear bomb that everyone runs away from.
Okay, alright. I'm glad you said nuclear and not nuclear. That's good. I like you just that much more now, Annie.
Aww.
I like what you're saying though. Faceless Void Phoenix, great team fight duo. We haven't seen teams running the Phoenix as much recently, but still as good as ever. You still have that great build of Midas into Aghanims, Shiva's type style. Work on that XP, get the egg up. It's pretty good stuff, though. I have to say the Orange.Taring opener is pretty good as well. Terrorblade Dazzle, and mind you, that first ban on the Medusa, they are not going to deal with that once more. You don't see Dusa banned out in the first two too often. But Terrorblade Dazzle, great combo here as well. Terrorblade, of course, known for his Sunder alongside the Metamorphosis. So sometimes if he gets locked down, stuck in a shallow grave, caught by a Nova, or Supernova rather, if Dazzle's nearby, that shallow grave can reset things a little bit and often allow him to get that Sunder off and turn the fight around. So a lot of natural synergy between those two heroes, and also FNATIC banning out the Elder Titan with their first two. One of the bigger counters to the Terrorblade, so maybe a little more tempting here for Orange.Taring, knowing they can pick it up without that hard counter available.
So, FNATIC ban out the AA, and it didn't seem like Taring had that much of a threatening AA. Do you think that means FNATIC are planning to go for something big and beefy like an Alchemist?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Oh, there we go.
Thinking the same thing here. They'll take it out with their fourth. Absolutely. I mean, they could also just be looking for a Witch Doctor. The AA is naturally pretty good against the Phoenix itself. So, sort of just an annoying hero to play against. And I think that was one of the heroes that, aside from getting ganked early and those deaths in the lane, was still very annoying for FNATIC, right? Those misplays from mid one getting picked off, a lot of that was a result of the Ancient Apparition connecting with an ultimate. That makes it a sure kill. Not to say he would have certainly gotten away if AA wasn't in the game, but having that global presence is pretty scary. Even though they weren't able to execute with the Shadow Blade Slark Ice Blast combo, that potential on paper is still there, and possibly what FNATIC are thinking about here. But boy, these picks coming out fast. Beastmaster III for Orange.Taring, great synergy with that Terrorblade timing push that will undoubtedly be coming out. And FNATIC, they take Ember Spirit, Winter Wyvern, one of Mushi's comfort heroes there on the Ember Spirit. And Winter Wyvern, an interesting support choice. A couple of birds for them. Fire and ice, mixing it all together. Execution will be the name of the game, though. Always got to be careful with that Winter's Curse.
Yeah, absolutely. I think your plans there just occupy Terrorblade and friends, but Taring have definitely got some work ahead of them. I think FNATIC, it's not the best draft I've ever seen, but just knowing their ability to execute is crazy. Now, the Vengeful Spirit here, I really do like that pickup.
Yep, great to have against the Faceless Void. Another one of those kind of classic counters. Swap people out of the Chronosphere once they get stuck in the Time Sphere. Not so bad. Also good to have Lockdown. When you go with a Dazzle support, you really want a second support that has some sort of disable. Dazzle brings a lot of great things to the table, but he does lack on general control. So now they'll have a stun to pair with that, and the swap for positioning. Another good hero to try to save the Terrorblade. Same logic as the Shallow Grave to keep him alive. You've got Swap. He gets stunned up. He gets caught in the Chrono. You save him. He can get off the Sunder and turn things around. And you know, fun little fact, Void cannot time walk the damage from Sunder. So there you go.
Because it's not damage, it's HP steal.
Yep, exactly. So Terrorblade also pretty good against Void in that kind of a scenario where Void mans up on Terrorblade, catches him in a Chrono, Venge swaps him out, then Terrorblade gets off a big Sunder. Those are the kind of plays that Void doesn't really have a trump card for, which is cool because Void is usually the hero that is the trump card, right? You've got all this awesome stuff. Oh, you got a BKB? That's cool, son. We've got a Chronosphere. What's going on? Final bans out. Death Prophet and Invoker are going to be taken out as both teams. Presumably looking for their mid heroes, though. It could be a Mushi Ember Spirit mid.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of potential. It is one of Mushi's favorite heroes. He can just get in there and have some fun. Now, Taring going into their last pick here, it looks like they do still need a mid laner unless they're doing something funky with the Terrorblade. But there is still that push potential if they wanted to go for something like a DK. I don't know how they'd feel about that, because that DK Terrorblade push combo is just feisty.
You really like that DK, huh?
I really like the DK. I saw it a lot last month in the Chinese scene, and it was just really successful because it's so survivable in laning phase with Dragon Blood that it takes 2 or 3 heroes to get him down early levels, and then once he's in that dragon form, he's just a whole nother hero.
Yeah, it would be okay for this Taring lineup. Their push around that Terrorblade, like 10-15 minute window is pretty disgusting already. You've got a lot of minus armor synergy with Avenge and the Dazzle, sustainability, extra damage from the Inner Beast. So a DK would make their push really good, and it's a laner that could definitely match up against the Ember Spirit. It could work here for Orange.Taring. I don't know if they'll go for it, but it's definitely something they could try. It would be another sort of not quite all-in lineup, but one where they have a lot of pressure to push. And
oh, blast from the past. I guess just get the Ember out of there. It's got that cute little disable. They can set up on top of that if they go in with that little banish. They could bring in the Beastmaster to roar underneath. I think it can get pooped on mid lane, though. I think it's going to be a difficult laning phase for this little guy.
I mean, this is just a strange pick here. He does work oddly well in 5-man lineups because of the Essence Aura. It gives you a lot of mana sustainability. A hero like Dazzle has a lot of low cooldown spells. Can get a lot of mana regen out of it. But yeah, this is going to be a problem. Broodmother, final pick from FNATIC. No, your response is the proper one here. They do not have any solution for this as far as I can see.
I mean, sanities, but that's kind of a big cooldown to go in just to dump some spiderlings.
I don't know that you can call that a counter to Broodmother.
No, dude, it's totally the play here.
Oh, God. This is actually, I think Taring just lost in the draft. I don't say that often, but this is going to be so hard to execute with. So let's talk about Outworld-Devour a little bit. Somebody actually brought this guy up in Twitch chat yesterday asking, like, I think it was when Purge and I were casting, what happened to Outworld-Devour? And all of his little friends in Twitch chat were so eager to jump down his throat and explain why the hero is a poop stick. But he just doesn't close out games. I think that's the biggest takeaway. He has a lot of issues, he only does damage. You know, Astral Imprisonment is a good reset tool. It's sort of like Disruption, but, you know, you're not a Shadow Demon where you can stack up Poison, stack up Soul Catcher, and have that kind of follow-up. It's an odd mechanic. It doesn't really seem to fit into this meta that well. He can do a lot of damage. You know, he reminds me of Morphling a little bit. If he gets 6 slotted, then yeah, you're going to want to run away from that Outworld Devourer, but getting him there is so hard. This meta is pretty aggressive, very based around early rotations, mid-game team fights, and that's where OD's pretty weak. I mean, I'm really curious to see what build Yamate goes for here. In the past, we've seen early mech, early force staff, some kind of survivability-based item because he's so easy to gank and rotate on. That's the thing about Astral Spirit. You know, you have somebody rotate in your way. You know, this Winter Wyvern comes in with an Arctic Blast, and okay, you can get off Astral Imprisonment. That buys you a little bit of time, but then it just sets up for the Ember Spirit to be there with Searing Chains, for the Phoenix to set up the Laser and Egg. There are a lot of things that it kind of sets up for the opponents, and if there's more than one hero chasing you down, you can't always just use it aggressively. The hero just has a lot of problems. I mean, we could spend the whole game talking about Outworld Devourer, so maybe there's something we're missing here. The only thing I can think of is the mana sustainability from Essence Aura with their early to mid-game 5-man. And if he goes for an early mech, plays it kind of like a Viper and rotates around, maybe it could work, but that's assuming Brood doesn't just win the game in 15 minutes, you know?
I mean, it's Ohio Brood, so that's kind of a big ask to hope that Ohio fumbles in some regard. I mean, there is some good vision here. Dazzle already picking up those 2 sentry wards, but Broodmother's ready there with those tangos and with those wards, so hopefully a nice easy lane for the Broodmother. Like you mentioned, Taring just do not have tools to deal with that. The right click from Dazzle's alright if he wants to go for that max poison touch build and just always keep up vision, but as soon as there's rotations out, as soon as Taring are focused elsewhere on the map, Ohio just rips apart your structures.
Yeah, I was thinking they might even try to do an aggro tri-lane or something. Oh yeah, Yamate is going to get roamed on already. He went for Arcane Orb level 1, so no Astral to even play around with, and talk about low commitment from FNATIC. That is an Arctic Burn and a Laser. Literally it. That from that far away as well, they bring Yamate to half health. This is going to be tough. I believe in Yamate.
Ohio down bottom taking some shade, but again, the sentry ward, he kind of knows where it's at. Ohio will be able to go and D-ward as soon as he's given a free moment in lane. And Dazzle's still holding onto the skill point, so not going to opt to start out with that poison touch just yet. And now there's the D-ward coming in, and Oh, suddenly Dazzle loses all his vision.
They do have just a mass number of ward advantage here on Taring, though. There's still 2 on the Vengeful Spirit, so this might be a little bit tough for Ohio. He'll do what he can. For the Brood, it's just about slow rolling it, trying to leech some XP, putting some pressure on. You know, you need a couple early levels. You need that Soul Ring before you can really harass a lot. And, of course, you have to fight around the Metamorphosis cooldown. It's about to go down, so Ohio can maybe find a little bit more in this setup. But again, Yamate just getting pushed back in the mid lane here. Beastmaster suiciding to a neutral. That's the new thing. Everybody's doing it. It's pretty cool. Look at this mid lane. Mid 1, 9-2, 4-1. OD. This is really sad that he's just getting straight harassed out by the Phoenix. DJ's just stacking, then rotating over, using the Sunray, and that's enough to keep him pushed back in the lane and let the Ember Spirit free farm. Very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there is a slight level advantage going to Yamate just because Phoenix has spent so much time in lane, and now he's able to do a fair amount of damage to mid one here. A couple more smacks. This could be pretty not so great. There is that Flame Guard if absolutely needed, and he's going to go through and salve. So I guess that's one of the reasons OD is so known and loved.
That orb is pure damage, though. It goes right through the Flame Guard.
He can put out a decent chunk of damage. The problem is he's just so fragile.
Yep. I mean, he's a glass cannon. That's the perfect way to describe OD. Glass cannon extreme. So similar to the Dusa, if you're at a team fight and you don't deal with him and you just let him sit there and auto attack to his heart's content, then yeah,
Broodmother.
You're definitely right. He's going to be good. Oh, Broodmother's fine. He's hiding in the trees here. Ohio's good. He did lose the ward battle, though. He lost both of his sentries. I think they still have 1 remaining on the Venge. Yeah, they sure do. So he's forced to play very defensive now.
He reveals his position here. He's going to scamper on through the trees. He's got his way out if he needs to. He can spray out another web, munching through with those tangos. So he's just got to sit in there. Going to TP back to his tower. He just went in a little bit too deep there. Yeah, needs a bailout.
He's fine.
He's all right.
They haven't killed him yet. That's a minor victory for the Broodmother. Like, yeah, sure, he's not really farming that well. He's slowly leeching experience, but they're not completely shutting him down. I mean, Terrorblade is still farming. Void is farming better than him in the safe lane, and Mushi is hard winning the mid lane. So if this bottom is just not a disaster for Fnatic, they're winning their other lanes, I think they're in perfectly good shape.
Well, he's sitting right under a sentry ward right here, and Dazzle has 1 point in that Shadow Wave, still holding on to a point as well, so could go for the Grave if needed. I'm really advocating for that Poison Touch, man. I love that Dazzle build. You're our resident Dazzle expert. What do you want to see?
Well, I'm a little apathetic towards opening builds for Dazzle. It's very situational. Synderin, one of the most prominent Dazzle players right now, he goes Poison Touch to level 1 almost every game. He absolutely loves having that early tool. It was recently buffed, well, somewhat recently. It's pretty mana effective. 70 mana cost at all levels, doesn't scale anymore or anything like that. He has a pretty decent mana pool, so you can get a lot of value out of it in these couple early levels here. He usually goes the 1-0-2, very aggressive double healing. It's kind of the maximized damage and support build. So Ice definitely taking a more defensive page here. They haven't really had too many opportunities to set up on Ohio, so I feel like in this situation it kind of doesn't matter too much. Like, he's just holding the skill point because if they have an opportunity to kill, he'll get the Poison Touch, but he doesn't want to go all in case he has to use the Shallow Grave, though. There aren't too many scenarios where a Shallow Grave would be a necessity at this point. It will start to push into the tower, Metamorphosis deployed, and this is part of that TB timing, 4.5 minutes. You know it. You expect it, but it is hard to deal with, especially with a Dazzle. 2 points in the Shadow Wave. He does put that point in the Shallow Grave. Yeah, he's ready to heal. Look at this mid one getting healed up in the jungle, killing some ogres. This is pretty nice for him. Nice bump of farm there.
Tier 1 tower popping down here nice and early. Broodmother not able to do anything about that. There's going to be a magic missile here. Can they go into 3-4-3? They've still got the Metamorphosis up and running, going in, trying to flap away with that Arctic Burn. We'll be able to get over the tree line. So no kill on the Wyvern just yet. No first blood. I'm actually surprised both teams are showing this much restraint.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's for lack of trying. Taring would definitely like to find a kill if they could, but they've got the Beastmaster jungling, Raji farming very well, almost level 6. It's what you would expect out of your hard farming Beastmaster in the jungle with an Iron Talon. Maybe when he hits level 6, that'll be a timing that they want to hit, and they can at least get a smoke gank rotation going on. This mid lane still way in favor of mid 1, though Yamate starting to get the better of it. He's got a regen rune in the bottle, and mid 1 is going to be forced back pretty soon. He did hit level 6. If he can ferry out a TP scroll, he can use that remnant, get a little efficiency going on, and still maintain his dominance in the lane. 35-21. He is still in an absolutely great position. And 3-4-3 is going to rendezvous, and they're going to share the bottle here. Very nice. Sharing is caring, as they say. It's
going back here. I mean, Terrorblade getting that free farm, but our big leader is Void. Oh, there we go, towards the rune. Ice goes in for that self-grave. No way to get out of there, though. Just has to sit back, see what happens. Yeah, he's just about to get killed. First blood goes the way of mid one. There will be a little bit of follow-up there from the OD, but not enough to force anyone back. So Yamate, a little sad to watch his buddy go, but I guess better dazzle than OD. Now they're looking for some follow-up here onto 343, but going to stop the boars. The slow will end. Now DJ, he's only level 3, so certainly no ability to reinitiate onto this.
Yep, all the support. Still reasonably low level, level 3, level 4. But you're right about the Void. Mushi is getting plenty of space. He's free farming away. He's probably going to go hand to Midas. He picked up Power Treads first, hanging on to the Gloves of Haste. I think in this kind of a scenario, Mushi will definitely opt for the slightly more greedy build. And he absolutely should. When you're getting free farm, when your off lane is sacked, there's no reason not to invest in one of those farming tools. I think the Battle Fury Void is really not so common these days. But the Midas is quite good. Attacks get some extra time blocks. Yeah, he's going to chrono in onto Raji. They've got a Sunray. Psionics TP's into it. Raji might still die to the laser. It's going to be close. He barely survives. 2 HP. Mushi will be the one that falls. Doesn't get the time walk up. And it's a 2-for-0 the other way. Wow, what a rotation from the Terrorblade.
Raji shouldn't have lived there. That's got to be so disheartening if you're the Phoenix. Now the OD coming back in will be able to zone out 343 and get some much-needed free farm in the mid lane. So this could be the start of OD actually having a decent time here, but he's still got a ways to go to climb back up in terms of net worth.
I'm also surprised the Void wasn't able to get a time walk off at the end there. Maybe it was just coming off cooldown. I clicked on him a little bit late, but it was up when I clicked on him like a second after he died, so it could have been one of those really close timings. We'll see mid lane Yamate initiated on. Searing Chains connect. He doesn't have a single point in the Astral Imprisonment. That is interesting. Even though I know I didn't really make a great sales pitch for it, but I think a value point to kind of, you can reset in a situation like that and maybe open up for a TP from the Dazzle, for example. You get off the Shallow Grave, maybe you can turn the fight. With not even a point in the imprisonment, you're like just straight up dead there. There's absolutely nothing you can do. So a nice easy gank for FNATIC and a little space created for the Brood. He almost gets the tier 1 tower down bottom.
Dude, you are an enigma here, talking that OD to death, just dumping on it, saying, oh, it's so bad there.
Listen,
if you go for Astral, you're missing out on damage.
And Astral has a lot of negatives.
Then he goes for all the damage,
but
and you're like, oh, why doesn't he have Astral, man?
You should still get a value point. That doesn't mean it's a good skill just because you should get a value point. It's not a bad skill either. It just has a lot of drawbacks. If that's OD's one, like, don't worry, guys, I can get out of trouble if I get caught. It's sort of, yeah, kinda. You're not gonna Astral Imprisonment TP, if that's what you're implying here, Mr. Outworld Devourer. Broodmother gets that bottom tier 1. Ohio's finally getting some space. He's going to go into the Medallion. He's got the Soul Ring. His farm's still middle of the pack, but he's about on par with the OD right now. And that's not even a flame. That's just a statement of fact. That's how lopsided this thing is turning.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is, it's very difficult for Taring to get back in this, but again, OD can just scale so late and just shoot out so much damage, and the Dazzle can only Shallow Grave one person at a time, so if it goes ultra late, I mean...
Dude, now that's an Ags upgrade right there. Like, that Rider Lasso, but for Shallow Grave, it bounces to friendly targets. That, I could be into that.
AoE Grave, get your whole team together, pop on that little weave, pop on the Grave, suddenly everyone's immortal, that's fun.
Yeah, man, they've been changing upgrades around. It seems like they've been trying to make upgrades a little more unique and not just, oh, it does what the ult normally does, just a little bit better, like weave. That's a very creative...
Oh, we got to smoke here, we got to focus in the game. As we are going around, we got Moltres and Articuno walking in.
Wow.
Look at that. Pokemon Go's got me all
I wonder where you go
up
to catch the legendary Pokemon. I was wondering where Zapdos is hiding.
Ling!
Ling!
Dota, man. Dota. Ling goes down.
Ling. Yeah, not what you could do there. That's a pretty unexpected gank. Great ward. Blocking out some Ancient stack in here from the Dire side. It's already been stacked up a few times, but putting some effort into that. Now the BOTs come out on Ember Spirit. Big mobility for mid one. He's still farming very well in this mid lane.
I mean, down bottom, we do have Terrorblade still sitting back. He's got third most last hit, so he's actually getting outlast hit by the Ember and the Void, both sitting at 75. So Psionics, even though he's been given pretty much a free lane, hasn't really made the most of it. I mean, he's 2-0. His overall net worth isn't bad. It's keeping par with the Ember Spirit, but I feel like with the space he's been given, with the priority he's been given, he should have just a little bit more.
I think you might be right about this Terrorblade's name pronunciation. What did you say? Psionics? Psionics. I was saying Psionics the other day, and I don't think that's right.
I mean, I have no idea. I'm like slightly dyslexic and kind of dumb.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one. There's too many vowels all jammed together. I don't know how you pronounce that. I need an English lesson. I'm sure Twitch
yeah,
chat
you
will
do,
help
son.
us out.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they're going to be very kind and understanding.
Yeah, per usual.
Oh,
3K
Mushi.
net worth, golden experience. He has time walking to the low ground. He doesn't go Midas. He goes into Maelstrom. Wow. This is cool, man. I feel like most Voids have been going almost exclusively Blink, Manta, Diffusal. That is the cookie cutter build right now. You get the damage, you get the farming efficiency from the Yasha, the mana burn. It's a very nice synergistic build that gives you some utility, some initiation. This is cool. This is like a Midas that does more damage, right? He's ready to farm. It gives you a lot of farming capabilities and a lot of damage output in fights. It's atypical, but I really like it. Mushi continuing to live up to his reputation with his creative item builds.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it before on Voids. It's pretty solid. It's a nice farming build. Just go through it. Means he wants to make a lot more space for himself. He's not planning on bailing on lane anytime soon, just sitting back, exerting some nice pressure. So FNATIC are feeling comfortable. They feel like they're not fighting on a clock, which is a very comfortable place to be when you're going up against a Terrorblade OD. We'll see how that pans out for them.
Yeah,
Nice smoke up, bottom jungle.
Oh yeah, they're going to rotate down bottom. I think it's also a really good item against an illusion-based hero like Terrorblade. He does have his Dragon Lance. Will definitely pick up a Manta style. He's going to upgrade that Maelstrom into Mjolnir, of course. And once you get that charge buff that you can put on your friends, whoever Terrorblade's attacking is going to proc a lot of lightning strikes. And that damage really adds up over time, and it's a really good tool to clear out the illusions. Just whoever gets initiated on can end up returning way more damage than they're taking. So interesting choice. Also, like the summons from the Beastmaster, just a lot of low instance strikes of damage, and that's where you can get a lot of value out of that Mjolnir buff. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Ohio doing brood things, putting some pressure on this tier 2 tower. Heal bomb from Dazzle actually clears out some of her little spider babies. Oh, poor little babies.
They don't have to commit the sanities for it, though. That's always nice.
Yeah, that's true. That is good. Yeah, Yasha on the way
they're looking for something here. A big group up from FNATIC. They really want to fight this, but it looks like Taring getting that memo as well. They're all grouping up here in this bottom jungle. Spare the OD who really wants to farm, but that's a huge component of Taring's damage that's no longer there. I wonder if they still want to fight.
Yeah, he went for a drum build too, just a very basic kit, kind of saying, I need a little bit of everything here. I'm a slow, clunky statue that came to life, so I'm going to get a little movement speed, a little extra int. He's at least pretty beefy now, a little less susceptible to these ganks, still skipping the Astral Imprisonment. Very bold, Yamate, very bold indeed.
Well, you either go for max Astral or you go for max damage, and the value point just doesn't really add a whole lot.
Well, you can't, it's what? It's a reset. You phase out of existence for 4 seconds. That's a great thing to have.
Alright, we got a roar mid lane, Raji going at him. We got mid one trying to go through and turn this around. Looks like he will be successful. Yeah, he's gonna get bashed up. They drop the chrono. Alright, Yamate just kind of skirts on through saying, I ignore your purple bubble. Now they bring in the rest of the damage. They're looking for the leap here. Mushi gets connected on the magic missile. He has no more escape. Looks like he will end up being the prize here. So Beastmaster for Void. It looks like it came out really well for Taring.
Yeah, FNATIC will get this tier 2 tower in the bottom lane though, so that will tip the scales a little bit. And I think overall give them a bit more, but an awkward Chronosphere, kind of as you were commenting on there. Used it for the almost guaranteed kill. If he had caught the Outworld Devourer in it, it could have been really good also, but you know, now that point in Astral comes out as he hits level 10. He's gone for the max build, but it is really good to have against the Chrono in those kind of scenarios where if you can get that off on your friend, it does force the Void into a precarious situation and could have actually been enough to save him. But here we go. Rotation to the mid lane. Winter's Curse comes out onto the Terrorblade. Rotation from the backside as well. It's the Broodmother. She's joining this party. Psionics has a Sunder. Can't get it off. He dies too fast. The Sunray just chunks him down. Now Ling on the run. Probably going to get left behind here. A lot of Spiderlings chasing him off. Out comes the Grave from Dazzle, TP home. Any kind of interrupt, the Searing Chains do connect, and that'll be the end of the Vengeful Spirit. FNATIC strike back and regain some of that lost footing as Ohio joins the party and secures his hand of Midas.
Yeah, that's going to be Ember Spirit, also getting very, very close to that Battle Fury. He's almost fresh out of mana, but still sitting 4, 0, and 2, so Midwood not exactly having the most crazy start we've ever seen here for FNATIC, but definitely pulling his weight.
Yeah, they're going to try to transition this into a tier 2 tower push, it looks like. Maybe not. Mushi. Nope, mid one rather. Just harassing, poking forward. He's very close to his Battle Fury now. Just one piece away, and that's when the Ember Spirit goes from pretty annoying to a huge damage dealer and a big-time farmer. Void now moving into a Manta style, so just going to hold the Maelstrom for now, but again, going back for that farming tool. Yasha, just a great value item. The absolute inverse of the Perseverance.
Oh? Mid one, just balls of steel there, jumping into 3, jumping onto the Terrorblade. I'm not feeling that spooked. He's just hopping back out. See what's gonna pan out here as all of Taring are grouped up. They really want to make something happen in this mid lane, but, well, they're, again, not rotating their OD with them, and he's just such a huge component of what they bring to these fights.
I mean, it's very similar to how Yamate played the DP in the last game, just Farmville Central. And he's only middle of the pack. I think that's the saddest part about it. They will finish off another tower. Terrorblade getting credit for that tier 1 in the mid lane. Another 1,000 gold with his Yasha completed. I think FNATIC are pretty happy with the state of things. And if this just keeps on as a somewhat passive mid game with everybody farming, FNATIC are naturally going to pull ahead over time. They're getting better movements around the map, and they just have the better farming tools. They're soon to have a Battle Fury. They've got a Hand of Midas already, and they have a Maelstrom farming Void now moving into a Morbid Mask with a Yasha. They're in great shape. Raji still with just a level 1 Necronomicon at 16 minutes. His momentum has really fallen off. You would expect the Beastmaster to have the Necronomicon level 3 coming up pretty soon in kind of an ideal scenario. 0, 2, and 2. You put that hero in the jungle so that he can come online and erupt with a fury of momentum with that first set of Primal Roars. He got 1 or 2 off, and now these team fights haven't really gone that well, and he hasn't been able to find the kills. These kind of slow-tempo games are not good for the style that they wanted to play with this Beastmaster, especially now against the Brood, where the map is kind of like this. I mean, that's the only area that...
Oh, swap back! Mushi gonna get roared up here. Caster's Curse comes into play as he will just plop down Sanities. There we go, that's an ulti.
Yep, Yamate wakes up from his nap there to secure that kill. He's gonna move into a Rod of Atos. Double Staff of Wizardry secured. Another good build. He's gonna do pretty much the same build he did on the Death Prophet on this Outworld Devourer. That's kind of interesting in back-to-back games. I think it's like actually the exact same item build. Hope it works for him.
You know, we'll see what's gonna pan out here. Is yeah, Ohio, he's sitting with a big chunk of pennies in terms of his overall net worth. It's surpassing the OD, which not really what you expect from a Broodmother who didn't even like stomp her lane. I mean, now that the lanes have started to rotate, she's getting a lot of space, but laning phase, she was starved out a little bit, but she's definitely come back, even with no kills, still holding on to a bunch of net worth.
Oh yeah, that's the power of the Brood, baby. That Hand of Midas, once she gets that, you know that she can just take over the jungle. I mean, this hero farms very quickly with all those little spiderlings running all the way through the trees. You can get from camp to camp very quickly. Kind of like that anti-mage factor, just heavy mobility allows you to kill stuff super fast. And now mid one, double damage rune in the bottle. This could be a window of opportunity. Gets himself the Hawk kill. 360 gold there. And down bottom, Dazzle gets set up on by Ohio. Uh-oh, the insatiable hunger. But Ice gets off the grave. Meanwhile, up top, yep, Yamate caught by a Chrono Sunray duo, and not much the OD could do. Easy kill for DJ. Or, pardon me, well, Mushi sets it up, but DJ gets credit.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking really good for FNATIC. Overall net worth is going to be sitting around that 7,000 mark. I mean, there was a little bit of a comeback there, but no, there we go. Dipping right down to what they need. The Dire Courier is killed off. It has a lot of net worth on it. Where'd that go down?
The Dire Courier, let's take a look. Hit the old hockey. Oh, yeah, I had a Hand of Midas on it. Went down. Oh, Terrorblade Illusion's got it. That's unfortunate. That is DJ's Midas. Mid one.
All right, mid one.
Ooh, nice cold embrace. Resets things a little bit. That'll keep him alive a bit longer. He's low on mana, though. He gets off one more Sleight of Fist. Now the Winner's Curse onto Ling. Nicely done by 343.
Man.
Raji goes charging up to the high ground. I don't know if that's... Whoa, daddy!
That's some powerful vomit, man.
Oh, damn it! He threw up on the router. Fuck!
Nah, dude, they just all decided to hit the club right now.
Going to Shufu tonight. It is Friday night. Hot dates at Shufu. I guess it's
Dude,
Saturday
I
night.
googled Shufu between games, and I could only find the translation of metropolis or housewife. So
I
feel
think
like...
it doesn't mean anything bad. I think it just means, like, content/comfortable, like, the opposite of feeling a bit ill. You know, like, oh, I didn't throw up. I'm feeling kind of Shufu. I think. I found that on Urban Dictionary, but Urban Dictionary is known to be inaccurate. There used to be a post about Sayori on there that was very untrue.
Oh, sure, I'm sure it was. I'm gonna go Google
not
that right
based
now.
in fact anymore. Or not based in fact. I don't think it's on there anymore. It may have been removed for violation of terms of service. Sorry, Urban Dictionary fans around the world. I think Raji's about to get fucked, though. I'm not gonna lie. There's a supernova ready.
Yeah, I mean, he's got nothing. He's got his blink in 3 seconds, but they can certainly cancel that.
Raji
They have got...
is boned. But he has friends nearby. There's a grave and a heal. and a Sunder, and a Metamorphosis that was just used. So actually, maybe FNATIC are about to get boned here. I think they're going to have to go Supernova. Mid one. Oh, God. This is going to be tense.
Yeah, well, oh, he's actually turning this around. Looks like he's going to be alive for now. They want to continue going on to mid one. Finally, he gets burned down. The Sunray doing its work. Mushi will go through the spider. Actually gets the kill there with the spawn spiderlings. Now Mushi going to be bashing up Psionics underneath the egg. The egg does go down. Now Mushi's in some trouble here. Immediately gets turned around upon. They want to find Ohio as well. He's away from his webs. They cannot catch up to him. But the spider's blocking in Yamate. He can't go through. He's got that 1 point in Astral. Can he use it? Oh, just the raw orbs are enough. That's going to be Yamate with a triple kill in that fight. You talked about OD
boy.
waking up from his nap, and that's what it feels like.
Oh, boy. That is... You know, if it was a pause the other way, you might be able to be like, oh, FNATIC, that sucks. The pause really messed them up. That is a terrible time for their team to disconnect because they get completely cleaned up. I don't know if that was the pause's fault completely, but that is a huge swing of momentum for Taring. That puts the Terrorblade at #1 on net worth, and all of a sudden, this OD has completely closed the gap. I have another DC here for mid one, but he just right-clicks a Mystic Staff after that. Probably just going to go right into a Hex Stick, the Scythe of Vice. That's great news. Thank you, Ice.
There's some big TMIs going on here in this team chat.
Dude, they're keeping us in the know, and I can appreciate that, you know.
All right, so predictions for the next couple minutes here, because it seems like all of a sudden FNATIC have just kind of let go of that huge spike, and OD, he's definitely starting to pull his weight. Terrorblade, you can't tap him out just yet. He's going to be finishing off that component of his Manta very soon. He has it on the Courier, just needs to flap it out to himself. And
whose Midas was on the Courier? DJ's.
Yeah, DJ's.
So that's the Phoenix Midas. So they now have 2 Midases, a Battle Fury, and the Maelstrom Void. Even though they messed up that team fight, I still think, like, as long as Taring don't just cripple them with objectives, FNATIC should still be able to win with just superior team fight and superior farming tools at this point. Like, they've positioned themselves to be so far ahead in the mid to late game that losing team fights kind of just keeps Taring on pace. Do you know what I mean? It's still pretty scary for this Radiant squad, even picking up momentum like that. Like, I still have little faith in the OD, especially since they have a Void. Like, what happens when Void catches the OD and the Venge in the same chrono? I mean, if you're just hoping that's never going to happen, yeesh. That's a lot of pressure on the positioning for Taring.
You've still got the Terrorblade, so when you look at the distribution of damage, it's actually looking alright for Taring. You've got Terrorblade able to hold on to his own at least for the next 20 minutes. You've got OD, who's going to start scaling pretty phenomenally, and Beastmaster, once he gets up those Necro 3s, he'll have a little bit of damage to himself as well. I mean, you look at FNATIC, and obviously they've got the Void, the Ember, and the Broodmother capable of doing huge quantities of work, but I don't think Taring are as down and out as you might think.
All right. We'll see. It's still a lot of team fights to go. FNATIC are going to take things on a more defensive plight. They're going to go back to farming. Ohio now investing in some right-clicking tools. The Echo Saber on the Brood. Uh-oh, mid lane. Mushi, no! He's dead.
Look at that, they're going for more. There's going to be a little bit of a Winter's Curse coming out, but Yamate is alright. He's got that bottle to sip up, and they're still chasing. They want to get down this cute little Flappy Bird. He's going to be able to go through the Arctic Burn and TP out, so that's going to be the end of the fight, but still getting the Void for free. That's fantastic.
Yep, down bottom, mid one and Psionics are going blow for blow. I think he's got a Sunder, but it's not going to do anything. Mid one brings him down. Impressive display of skills from the Ember Spirit. That's a big kill right there for him, and it's about a 1K net worth swing. That is pretty handy.
Yeah, this is, it's coming back here. Not only a 5,000 net worth advantage, which, you know, 20 minutes in the game, it's a lot, but it's not insurmountable by any means. A couple more big kill bounties on the way of FNATIC if they get down Ember Spirit, if they get down the Void a couple more times. They've definitely got a huge foothold in this game. Now, the Roshan will be going on FNATIC. They desperately want to get this Aegis and just secure a little bit more of an advantage because they kind of realize that their grasp is slipping a little bit.
Yeah, also it was a good time to move into the Roche pit here. They've got pretty good vision control. I think Radiant have 2 wards down, one in the mid and one in the middle of their jungle. So not very... Oh, they've got... Oh, that's a... God damn it, I hate these wards so much. It triggers me more than whatever I was triggered about earlier.
What are you going on about?
Look, the blue wards. Don't they both look like sentries?
No, because one has the yellow balls.
I get it. It looks a little different, but they're both blue. And I have trouble with colors. My pins and rods are all jacked up. I was born defected. This is a struggle for me, all right? I suffer through not playing in colorblind mode for the good of the viewers because I know they hate it. It's
Big
okay.
Pat on the back.
I don't mind, but this is where I draw the line. For fuck's sake, please! The colorblind are a real demographic, and this is bad news bears.
Just look on the mini-map. The open circle is a sentry, the closed circle is an observer.
There are tools to deal with it, but on the fly, I scoop by, go, oh look, they double. Oh wait, no, they're different. They're different. It's just.
All right. Speaking of which, base being cracked here, mid one. He is just all about this. Hops back to his remnant. He's gonna go through and just finish off the jungle, but definitely making some space here, forcing Terrorblade back, forcing a couple heroes to rotate through, and well, you've got a push coming in from the OD, but 3-4-3 is there to clear it out.
No, this is good stuff. FNATIC are in really good shape now. They've got the Aegis on the Ember Spirit, and he is going to go for Lincoln's. Lincoln's this game is great for him. It blocks mostly just really big spells here, swap, sunder, all that kind of stuff. You're going to see a fight break out down bottom, though. Mid one's starting it off, and I thought his teammates were starting to move in this direction, but it's just all of Taring that are reacting to this. This is some serious space creation by the Ember Spirit. It's a 1-on-5 right now, while the rest of his team is just split farming around the map.
Yeah, I mean, it's still looking good. The Ember Spirit's certainly able to hold his own, and Taring, they need to really put out a push here. They've got the Terrorblade now with a decent kit. He's got the Dragonlance Manta, but you haven't really seen him kind of group in, go for that Metamorphosis tower push in a very long time, because they just need a couple more pickoffs. Now we see they just cannot deal with these Spiderlings. Where's their AoE damage?
It is nowhere to be found. That 5th pick Brood is probably one of the most damning parts about this draft that I still don't know how they end up dealing with Ohio. He still isn't even really that scary. His net worth is pretty high, but 2K of it's invested in a Midas, and 3K of it is still just sitting in his bank account. You know, he's not even really online yet by most sense of the definition. So curious what item he builds next. If he goes for more right-click, maybe he just goes for something like a BKB to try and stay safe. A lot of options for a Brood with this kind of space. Could even just look for like a Necro Book of his own, go Assault Karas. Vlad's, he could go into an aura-based build. It kind of depends on where FNATIC see this game going. If, they think they can close it out, maybe he goes for pushing tools. If they think it's probably going to go a little bit later, then they just turn him into a little more of a carry-style Brood, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Assault Cuirass might be a nice natural pick, although they are going to bring in Psionics. He's looking for something. Broodmother sneaking into the webs. Now, how's the vision looking on the side of Taring? Who's got that reveal? Looks like Vengeful Spirit carrying in that 1 sentry, and that's going to be it aside from the Beastmaster gem. But Beastmaster, he's hanging behind his crew, kind of scouting things out, but definitely not able to catch up to the Brood.
Yeah, this is tough for Taring. They're looking to find angles to initiate, but FNATIC are doing a really good job only showing heroes that are pretty elusive. Again, looking at Radiant Vision. They've got a couple wards down, a good spread across the map, but a lot of these heroes are really hard to initiate on. Brood, very elusive. Phoenix has a getaway, Void has a getaway, Ember Spirit can always jump to a Remnant, and Winter Wyvern is positioned very defensively on her side of the map, and even with a Blink Dagger now, she's not the easiest gank target. So this is tough for Taring. They just have to farm their way out of this, at least for now. OD closing into, it's either a Shiva's or a Sheep Stick, but I think the Sheep Stick a little more likely. Raji!
Oh. Ooh. Definitely some reaction time there. Thank God Mushi's not too trigger happy with that chrono, otherwise that would have been a huge whiff and a nice opening for Taring to go in.
Yep, good thing Mushi didn't pull the trigger on that one too quick.
Now Psionics is going, he's farming up. He might regret this depending on if FNATIC go for the high ground or not. Looks like they are going to wrap up. They bring in the spiders to get some nice ward vision. Phoenix swooping in, getting the burn damage on the creeps, and nice effective farm here.
No.
But
dire vision, they see him. They're pinging him.
Well, at least they know he's not in that mid lane, so they can exert a little bit more pressure. But I think FNATIC are feeling very comfortable not having to push too hard, not having to take those big gambles. They feel very safe still.
There's the Hex on the big bad OD. Smoke out of the base. Taring looking to use this new item. Will they find a kill? A furious glory it could be. Oh, Nushi.
Okay.
Womp.
I mean, that's like their whole kit, though. Now, they can't reinitiate on anyone else. They don't have that sanities. They could go in if they just want to raw chase him down. There's going to be the Atos popped out. They get a decent slow going down. There's a piggy. And there's the damage. OD. I mean, he just comes in and he starts smacking people down. Double kill on him. Now 7-2-2. Definitely a slow start. Had a lot of trouble in the lane, but well, he's doing all right.
So, remember that thing you were saying about Outworld Devourer and Critical Mass and something about a lot of int? Yeah, he's about there. He just 3-shotted the support, and that Sanity's Clips easily killed the Void.
Oh, swap back, DJ. Maybe have no time to react. He goes in for that egg, but easily cleaned up. The Ember Spirit, all he does is tickle out Psionics. And now Psionics does go in for that Metamorphosis. Goes in with the Sunder as well. He goes in. He will get a kill there with that Sleight of Fist, popping back to his Remnant. Little Reflection chasing after him, but that does leave Psionics able to go in with the Metamorphosis form and wail on this tower. They're looking for more kills here. They know Broodmother's in the vicinity. They got the gem. Oh, no. No gem on the Beastmaster. He put it away.
Yeah, now BKB out on Ohio. This is a little bit awkward for FNATIC. Certainly not the sequence of initiations they were hoping for, but remember, that was the debut of the Hex Stick. So now they're aware that OD is a little bit more farmed than maybe they were ready for. He's got that big core item to go the Atos, and they can at least play around that. I mean, Mushi was obviously farming in a very aggressive position. Not an unlikely spot to have a ward up here, so reasonable that he gets ganked. That's FNATIC playing just a little bit cocky, getting a little sloppy with it. Again, with the farming tools, they're still comfortably in the lead. Simply put, they can afford to farm riskily like that because they are making up for it and then some with just splitting around the map and using this double Midas Battle Fury setup they've got going on.
Yeah, the problem is that FNATIC do give up a couple of big kills there. If they do end up making a couple more fumbles like that, Taring can very easily convert a little space on the map to objectives. Again, they've got that Terrorblade who's just been chomping at the bit to go, and we see how quickly Taring were able to push back their lane from underneath what used to be their own tier 2 up to the enemy tier 2.
Yeah, the noose is slowly being tightened here. Double damage rune in the bottle of the Ember Spirit. They call this the Rune of Many Winds for a good reason. Could be a big fight brewing. He's also got the Crystallis, but a huge item for Taring. Big bad eye of Scotty up on Terrorblade.
I mean, he's hitting hard, he's hitting fast, you really want to get something done, but the lockdown just kind of isn't there. FNATIC very slippery. Again, they just don't have AoE to deal with the Brood. The Vision's good. They put the gem onto the Dazzle because he's able to stay a little bit farther back, and they don't want to risk the Beastmaster getting dunked after he goes in for the Roar. So I guess keeping it nice and safe is always solid. Now we do have the OD applying some pressure to the tier 1, or rather the tier 2 top. Be able to force back a rotation or two for that.
Yep. Yamate doing a bit of split push. FNATIC feeling hesitant here. They're all grouped up near the enemy base, but afraid to go high ground. Respecting the defensive capabilities of Taring, and maybe just looking to wait out next Roche. We'll see in a minute or so what the RNG timer looks like. It'll be a fast one or a short one. Maybe it'll go in FNATIC's favor and be a quickie. BKB now up on Void. Speak of the devil, it's Mushi again, but this time 343's there. They bait it out with a nice Cold Embrace Winter's Curse, but OD drops the hammer, and Void gets that first class ticket right back to the grave. Now Yamate going to be initiated on as Ohio comes in. Psionics just dropping the Broodmother. Yeah, that Sunray not going to heal you up from that. Fire Spirits do connect, though. Can he get off this Sunder? This is going to be close. OD astrals himself. There's the Sunder. Does heal him up some. Double damage on mid one, though. He's ready to go in for this. He whiffs the Searing Chains, though. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That Scotty hurts. FNATIC will disengage, but it's not their fight to take.
I mean, they're going to have to sit back and watch this tower go down. They've still got some decent time on the Metamorphosis. He's doing some damage. The Fortify comes out, but it can't last forever. Without the Brood, without the Void, they're just missing so much control. So Taring go through, and they're going to exert a whole lot of pressure onto this lane, and all of a sudden it feels like this game could be back on even playing grounds.
It's starting to get there. FNATIC are starting to give away way more than they can afford. They have to take these team fights like a team. I mean, we haven't seen a Chronosphere in a little while now. There wasn't even a Phoenix Egg in that fight. It was a really nice Cold Embrace from 343 into Winter's Curse. He helped turn that around, at least at the beginning, and make it palpable for Mushi. In the end, though, it just wasn't enough. They need to synergize with all of their abilities. You know, they picked this great team fight lineup, but they haven't really been playing with it. Now a Basher comes out on the Brood, so Ohio looking for another control piece to maybe deal with this TB. I like it. Basher into Abyssal. Good stuff for the Brood. It'll also help beef her up a little bit once she gets the Vanguard.
Yeah, and that's, again, more control from FNATIC, because we saw that they just kind of lacked a little bit of lockdown once the Void was taken out of the fight. Now Mushi is going to pick up that Invis rune and scout into the Roche pit, but maybe looking for a kill off the back of this. He's got the Chrono up, he's got some decent fight there, but the Manta almost completed. Needs about 1,500 more gold to get that rolling for himself, but you know, if he can go and catch out the Terrorblade here, that's huge. He's going to scout him out. He knows it's the real guy. He doesn't know that he's alone.
I'm not sure if he can just straight up solo the Terrorblade at this point. 2,500 HP. I don't think Mushi can do that kind of damage in 4 seconds. He needs help.
There's the
now
Phoenix
DJ's
combo.
Inbound.
Yep, that's it. That's going to be the kill. The swap out from the bench, though. They drop the Winter's Curse to lock him in place. They will be able to get a kill into Ling. He goes in. They don't have the vision because Dazzle, or rather, they just don't have any sentries on their team. That's going to be Vengeful Spirit getting out of the way. Nice swap. It feels like FNATIC should have had a backup plan for that. Was that the debut of the Glimmer Cape, or did they already know she had that?
I'm not entirely sure. It could have been the debut, but either way, that was unfortunate. Another missed gank for FNATIC. Yeah, that Chronosphere has a pretty decent cooldown, and now there is about a 60-second window where Taring might be able to make some plays happen. Oh, poor FNATIC. This is starting to look pretty rocky. Mid one trying to do some split push. Does chip away at the tower. Keeps the Terrorblade push back, but Taring, they're smoked up. They're headed towards the Roche pit. They think FNATIC might be in there. And they will guess wrong, but they do make the rotation. Octarine Core up on OD. Yamate is actually getting towards critical mass. I'm surprised FNATIC didn't punish this hero more. You know, there are a lot of heroes that aren't that great in the meta right now. Like Troll's a perfect example. If you let Troll get 6 slotted, he is ridiculous. He does an absurd amount of damage. He attacks super fast, has all of these bashes. The hard part is getting to critical mass without losing all of your lanes and also keeping your towers alive from all of the pushing, right? This is one of those games where it looked like FNATIC would be able to kind of win in the mid game, put a lot of pressure on with the Brood, and then they went back for all these farming tools. They rested on their laurels, and I don't think the farming tools were necessarily a bad choice, but they gave Yamate a lot of space, and now OD's going to be kind of hard to deal with. I mean, per usual with these kind of lineups, it's all about initiation. If Taring get the jump, OD's going to do a lot of damage and drop somebody. If FNATIC get the jump, yeah, it doesn't have too much on it. It's okay. You know, if they get a good chrono, they could always potentially win the game off something like that. But now with the Octarine Core, I mean, Sanity's Eclipse is a much shorter cooldown, only 120 seconds. The right clicks are nasty. He's up to 200 int. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's a lot of int.
Ooh, mid one.
That's gonna be a nice little get there if they can get it. They get the roar off onto mid one. He's got the remnant out if he really needs to go for it. Yeah, he's gonna go with the searing chains, popping back. It's not that far though. He's gonna get Ato stuff. He gets hack stuff. Looks like he just gets punished for being out here on his own side of the jungle. Yamate, no remorse here. He finally comes online and he is forcing back everyone away from him.
Starting to feel like Orange.Taring are doing it. Atos, a very effective tool against the Ember Spirit, as we saw right there. Good luck trying to run it away when you've got that slow on. He does have a buyback. The one good thing for FNATIC is they've got very good high ground defense. All 5 of these heroes, kind of excluding the Brood a little bit, are just very good in that high ground corridor. Makes for easier chronos. But 3-4-3, 3-shot by Yamate. Oh my god, he just one-shot the Phoenix with his ult. 3 buybacks used, but
they don't have to give up just yet. The Metamorphosis Terrorblade Illusion is doing so much work.
Yeah, that was just OD walking in with a couple of right clicks. I mean, his damage output is just absurd now.
I mean, Broodmother is doing some decent work chipping down that mid lane, but Psyonix doesn't have to back off. He's still got half time on that Metamorphosis left. He's going to be burning down a little bit from that Sunray, but again, he's still got the Sunder at the ready if he absolutely needs it, and the Dazzle sitting in the backlands will heal him up. This is looking good. There will be a nice Winter's Curse. They might be killing off their own Beastmaster here. Swap away, though. Venge. Nice play, but going to swap herself right back into the corner. There's BKB coming up from Musha. They go with the egg. They got that nice zoning damage. Psyonix looks. He goes for the BKB. He immediately turns on the Phoenix. Not going to get stunned up by the egg. They bring the Broodmother. That's going to be the end of Psyonix. There will be a shallow grave to keep him alive for now. Can he get off the Sunder? He will. Ohio gonna fall victim to this. The Astral Imprisonment comes out. The OD gonna be coming back full health, full mana. And Mushi, can he leap up to the high ground? He will be able to do so, but they get the Atos off of the mid one once again. There's the poison touch, and there's just the raw damage. Psyonix goes through. This could be game. In fact, this most likely will be game. The buybacks are few and far between. Broodmother, the only one able to come back into the fight here, and she can't do a whole lot by herself. They are going straight for the tier 4s. No slowing down here. Taring, they found their window. They busted it wide open, and FNATIC are sitting back wondering what happened. There's the buyback from the Brood. There's going to be the fortified popped out trying to get some more time. They bring in the webs, but Broodmother, again, just not that sneaky. They've got the vision if they need it.
Shit's over, dude. This is 100% over. Taring actually just did this. There are a lot of Arcana holders out there with items on FNATIC with tight buttholes right now, wondering where this series is going to go. A best of 5 to best of 3.
Oh, we're not done yet, though.
It's not totally over without this. Oh, are they going to kill Yamate? Do they actually defend here? He's got another shallow grave. Where's the team? Too many of them went back. Psyonix just going straight for the objectives, though. Winter's Curse will slow him down. Mushi, BKB, they could win the game here, but Psyonix will fall. Now Yamate's back. The right clicks are coming. They are all in. Ice! Ice, just hit it! Hit it, Dazzle! You can do it! 200 HP, you've got this! Oh, no! 70 HP! The throne lives! The throne lives!
I mean, it's not going to be for long. The Corona comes in. Raji, he's got the roar, but he's going to get busted down before he can go in. The throne's still alive. They've got to be careful of every single creep hit. One siege creep can mean the difference between game 4, game 5, or whatnot. FNATIC, oh my god, they have to just play flawlessly to hold this. It's only one lane of creeps down, so if for some reason they can stall this out long enough, the throne will regen. I think they can hold against the super creeps.
Oh my.
Oh, lordy lord, that is a very low
This game
ancient.
should be over, honestly. Watching that Dazzle just stand there, he could have auto-attacked the throne a couple of times. It was so close. FNATIC in Hail Mary mode, maybe they can force a buyback or two.
I mean, Broodmother got down this mid lane. She did a decent amount of chip damage to the range racks, and that's not going to regen, so that just sticks there. Now, FNATIC, they're Hail Marying down here.
Maybe
they
just
YOLO.
ignore barracks. They go for a team fight, and then they just go all in. I mean, you can see how close it was in our little replay here. In fact, there ain't nothing little about it, our massive replay. Here we go. We're gonna go
I don't know if
barracks.
we can replay this. We're going to get back into the action pretty shortly.
We're back, don't worry. Replay's already done did. Here we go. Melee barracks under siege. There is a glyph now for Taring. They haven't used any of their buybacks yet. OD gonna hang on to his. FNATIC need a miracle team fight to win here. Mid one. Oh, he's taking so much damage. Raji almost gets the initiation. He's got a Shadow Blade. Okay, FNATIC, get a lane of barracks. I can't believe they're still in this game. I'm actually still in shock.
The Ancients regenning up, and the creeps are few and far between. I mean, there's still tier 2s up in the mid and bottom lane, so top lane's really the only thing you gotta be concerned about. Now, there's gonna be a big smoke up from Taring. They want to go in, they want to rip the band-aid off and finish this. They realize they should have just had their eyes on the prize a little bit more for that last fight. But we're gonna see what they're gonna do here. Looks like the smoke will be popped. They know someone's in the area. They get the reveal here onto the Broodmother. Ohio has no buyback. This is gonna be huge. The Spider's down. This might be game. They're looking for more. They're gonna jump in. The Void's able to manta away. There's gonna be the roar. It will connect. There's the BKB, but again, it pierces right through. DJ going in with the Sunray has the egg at the ready if they need it. There is also the Winter's Curse available. There's going to be the blink in from the Ember. Oh, he's just aggressive here, and Raji doesn't have that scream. Oh my, on the back line, Terrorblade ripping apart that Faceless Void. They will get the Wyvern, and there's the GG.
All right, well, a little bit of a sweater there at the end. FNATIC make Taring work for it. They have a go at the barracks. A nice dip there in the gold graph as things go right back up the other way. But a victory nonetheless for Orange.Taring. I think at the end of that game, you could really see the synergy in their draft between the Dazzle, the Venge, and the Terrorblade, with two ways to keep him alive when he gets initiated on, whether it be in the Chrono, whether it be by the Broodmother, Winter's Curse, whatever it is, there's always some tool to allow him a reset. And at the end, FNATIC just didn't have anything to deal with it. I mean, the Broodmother is a great hero for putting pressure on around the map, stealing farms, sucking to the enemy jungle dry, pressuring towers, but in a fight like that, she doesn't really offer so much when the Terrorblade is jumping around back and forth. Not a hero that can stand blow for blow against the Metamorphosis Illidan there. So, in the end, Taring make it work with an Outworld Devourer Yamate. He got pretty much free farm the entire game, hit critical mass, and then they had no response for it. FNATIC maybe getting a little cocky with that one, investing in the heavy farming tools and not bringing it together in the mid game. Convincing stuff. Game 3 on the horizon. This is a guaranteed Game 4, though, Annie. That's what we're talking about.
Hey, I called it, man.
You certainly did, and you called this game as well. You never gave up faith in Taring, and for that, well done. If they win this series, well, God, so many upsets to be had. We're going to have a break, folks, and when we're coming back, Game 3 of Taring versus FNATIC. This is a best-of-5 grand finals for Kappa Season 2. $7,500 to first place, $2,500 to second. It's a big disparity, and we'll see who takes the cash at the end of this series. Stick around, because we've got more Dota 2 coming your way. I'm Zyori, she's Android. 188bet made this tournament possible. You're watching MoonducktV. Stick around.